Investigators of Valley Homes searched in connection to the Tupac Shakur murder investigation nearly 27 years after his death.
25-year-old Tupac Shakur shot 4 times inside this BMW in this intersection near the Las Vegas Strip in September 1996. He would die from his injuries 6 days later.
The police had no idea what they were about to uncover inside Tupac's garage. When investigators finally broke open the locked door in February 1997, 5 months after his death, they expected to see luxury cars or maybe some recording gear. But what they actually found inside that sealed space completely changed how people understood Tupac Shakur. More importantly, it exposed plans he had kept hidden from nearly everyone around him.
Police confirming they searched a home as part of their ongoing work to solve who killed the rapper and hip-hop icon.
The garage had remained untouched since September 1996, stuck in legal disputes while Death Row Records, his family, and attorneys argued over ownership. A judge eventually ordered it opened for documentation. When Detective Marcus Hendricks walked in with his team, he immediately sensed something unusual. This wasn't a storage room for a celebrity lifestyle. The walls were soundproofed, heavy-duty shelving lined both sides, and every item was organized with labels and dates, like someone running a structured operation. What sat on the main workbench challenged everything people believed about Tupac's final months.
This is telling Bay News Now investigators this search involves Dwayne Davis, also known as Keef D. Davis speaking publicly about the night Tupac died in videos on YouTube and in a book.
3 large black binders sat across the workspace, each filled with hundreds of pages. The first binder contained movie scripts, not roles Tupac was hired for, but films he planned to direct himself. There were detailed production schedules, budget notes, and casting ideas written in his handwriting. All of it showed he had been studying filmmaking as if preparing for a new career. One script, titled Thug Angels, focused on gang intervention programs. Attached were proposals for collaborating with real nonprofits and hosting community screenings where ticket sales would directly support youth programs in tough neighborhoods.
The second binder was even more revealing. Page after page of financial documents showed where Tupac's money was truly going, and it wasn't toward jewelry or parties like most people assumed. Bank statements listed monthly payments to bail funds for young people held on minor charges. Receipts showed he covered legal expenses for families who couldn't afford attorneys. Wire transfers confirmed donations to literacy groups, mentorship programs, and community centers throughout California. None of this was public, no interviews, no announcements, just quiet support for people who needed it. One $50,000 check went to a Watts literacy program 3 days before he traveled to Las Vegas. But the third binder held something that could have changed hip-hop entirely if Tupac had lived to complete it.
We brought the gurney up,
over,
just pulled them out.
pulled them out, and that's when, everybody was yelling Tupac.
Legal records showed Tupac was establishing his own record label, fully separate from Death Row. Documents dated August 1996 proved he had already registered the name Machiavelli Records, filed for trademark protection, and begun early discussions with distributors who could release his music without Suge Knight's involvement. His business plan described signing young artists, mentoring them, building his own production team, and creating an organization that would last beyond his own career. The evidence made it clear Tupac was preparing to leave Death Row and planned to do it on his own terms.
He's happy it's happening, and he says he hopes it'll bring some more closure to the case.
I didn't think there'd ever be any more steps taken in this case.
As investigators continued searching the garage, they found a locked steel box behind filing cabinets. After a finish, Shakur's lawyer provided the combination. They opened it and uncovered a stack of mini DV tapes. Each tape was labeled with dates from July to early September 1996. When detectives reviewed the footage at the station, They saw Tupac speaking directly into a camera, almost like a personal video journal. What he talked about on those tapes left a lasting impact, because Tupac clearly sensed something was coming.
27 years old. I can tell you exactly why it happened. It's happened because of Keith D running his mouth.
The recordings showed a very different person from the aggressive figure seen in music videos. Tupac spoke about being tired, feeling trapped by his image, and realizing the lifestyle he was living couldn't continue. He talked about wanting to move to Ghana and create films about Black history without Hollywood's influence. He mentioned plans to write a book on political change and activism aimed at helping young people. In a video dated September 3rd, 4 days before the shooting, he said he felt like he was living on borrowed time, not because of rivals or rap conflicts, but because everything around him was moving too fast and slipping out of his control. These tapes showed he was trying to distance himself from the persona he had built. Publicly, he was viewed as a fearless rapper, but privately, he was planning a future that looked completely different. The contrast was striking, and investigators saw someone looking for a way out, but unsure how to leave without destroying his career. Then they noticed the BMW sitting on a hydraulic lift in the back, and everything suddenly took on new meaning. The car was a black BMW 750 IL, the same model Tupac was riding in the night he was shot in Las Vegas. But this one was untouched, never driven, and registration records showed Tupac bought it 3 weeks before he died. The keys were in a workbench drawer with a handwritten note that read, "Exit plan, New York or Ghana. Decide by October." Inside the trunk were 2 large duffel bags containing items that stunned investigators. Passports, 1 real, 1 appearing to be fake, $80,000 in vacuum-sealed cash, international calling cards, and a list of contacts in Jamaica, Cuba, and several African countries. Additional documents showed Tupac had been converting assets into cash and moving money into offshore accounts beyond death row's reach. Everything pointed to the same conclusion. Tupac Shakur was preparing to disappear, and this BMW was intended to be part of that plan. But what they found under the driver's seat raised questions that remain unresolved.
Probably didn't really know it was going to have any historical significance. At that point, it was fixed and then sold to the general public.
A small leather journal held entries from the week before the shooting. Tupac wrote about feeling watched and believing someone was tracking his movements and monitoring his plans. He expressed concerns about death row's criminal ties and a growing fear that he had become a problem for dangerous people. The entry dated September 5th, 2 days before he died, explained how he tried multiple times to cancel the Las Vegas trip, but felt pressured to go despite his instincts telling him otherwise. His final entry, written the morning of September 7th, 1996, the day he was shot, contained one sentence. "If tonight goes wrong, the BMW knows where to take them. Keys under the seat, package in the trunk. Tell Mom I tried." The line implied Tupac had arranged for someone to use that BMW if something happened to him, possibly to protect his mother or family. But whoever that person was never came forward, and the car remained in police storage for years.
Recently, Keith D has written a book and made TV appearances detailing his involvement in Tupac's death.
The garage discovery changed public understanding of Tupac's final days. He wasn't living without direction or simply waiting for trouble. He was planning an escape, building a new business, preparing for a different life, and trying to shield the people he cared about in case things escalated. The detailed binders, private video journals, and the secret BMW with cash and passports didn't match the public image of a rapper embracing danger. So the question becomes, what drove Tupac to feel he needed an escape plan? Evidence suggests Tupac was torn between 2 identities. He had created a powerful persona that made him famous and kept him relevant. But that same image was becoming harmful. The pressure from death row, the conflicts, and the expectation to appear tough and fearless were becoming overwhelming. He wanted to transform into someone who made films, helped communities, and built long-term projects, but he didn't know how to shift without sacrificing everything he had achieved.
Bragging that he's the one who handed Orlando Anderson a gun, and subsequently that gun is used to shoot Tupac.
The charitable work he quietly supported showed he cared deeply about improving lives, even when his public image suggested otherwise. The record label plans proved he understood the business well enough to become independent. The video entries revealed someone thoughtful and self-aware, not the reckless figure often portrayed in the media. And the BMW with his escape notes showed he recognized the escalating danger. When investigators finished their report on the garage contents, they wrote that Tupac's death wasn't only the loss of a talented artist, it was the end of a carefully planned transformation that might have reshaped hip-hop entirely. Those binders, tapes, and the hidden BMW weren't just belongings. They were pieces of a future that never came to life. A second chapter that ended on a Las Vegas street 5 months before anyone knew he was preparing for it.
He's openly saying that he's, a significant part of this whole murder. How many times are you going to go on TV and say that before somebody's going to have to take some sort of action? If they can match him up and say, wow, these are the same type of rounds that are in Tupac, obviously that kicks things up considerably. Will that happen? I think probably not 26 years later. But certainly it's something that they're going to have to take a look at.
The garage protected Tupac's plants until it no longer mattered. And looking back at everything found inside, it raises the question, how different would hip-hop be today if Tupac had lived to see October? If he had followed through with the escape plan, driven that BMW to the airport, and relocated to Ghana as he wrote about? The world didn't just lose a rapper in 1996. It lost all the possibilities stored in those binders, packed in those bags, and locked inside a garage no one was supposed to open.